Alright, so hi guys, this is going to be a first of the video lectures that we're going to produce for this class so that you can keep up with the material if you're out of class or if you just want to go back and review for a test. This is going to be later going to be required for a homework some nights. Right now it's just something I'm going to put online to kind of help facilitate some of the in-class discussion. But the thing that I want to talk about today is Henry Clay's American System. Now, we've been talking this week about the industrialization going on, and we've also been talking about this idea of sectionalism versus nationalism. Henry Clay here, he believes he has a plan that's going to promote industrialization, but also create it in a way that there's more unity within the nation. So his American System now, this is Henry Clay. He's going to be a Democrat from the state of Kentucky. So he's a new breed of politician. He's trans-Appalachia. He is from across the mountains. So he's much different than a lot of people in the eastern seaboard. Now, having said that, he's also going to have some run-ins with Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson definitely does not like Henry Clay. We'll see a little bit more about that later. But Henry Clay, he is probably going to be the biggest congressman during this time period. And he's famous for a lot of compromises. We'll talk about the Missouri Compromise later. That is his handiwork. But going along with this, his American System, remember, it's about industrializing the nation, but also doing it in such a way that North and South, East and West come together. So let's take a look at it a little bit. Let me scroll down. So his plan is going to be based on Hamilton's economic plan. Now, if you remember back a little bit earlier for me, Hamilton's economic plan had three main components. The first being the assumption of the state debts. Actually, there's four. Right? So, assuming the state debts, creation of a national bank, to regulate the dollar. Third part was excise taxes. And the fourth part, if we can break these out, is a tariff. What we're going to see is Clay is really taking these and he's kind of translating them into the next generation. We don't have the state debts anymore, so that's gone. Right? During Jefferson's administration, Jefferson didn't like the national bank. He thought it gave the northern states too much power, gave industrial areas too much power. Remember, he was for the farmers, so the national bank is gone. We have more of the states creating their own money. And that is going to end up in the 18 teens into a crash. Our economy crashes. Also, we've got some problems with War of 1812. But we still have some excise taxes and the tariff. But let's take a look at what actually Clay did. Clay's American System. Now remember, this is going to be mainly economic policy, but it is about federalism, making the federal government stronger. So the first thing is strengthen the Army and Navy. Right? He wants a large army, but the biggest thing is the Navy. If we're going to have any threats coming at us and to protect our trade, we've got to fund new ships, mainly frigates, which are light but very, very fast ships. Recharter the national bank. Jefferson had killed the national bank. He wanted to bring it back, to regulate that money, to regulate the dollar. And that should be like that. The other thing, and probably one of the most controversial issues, is going to be with the tariff. Right here, the tariffs are going to be the probably biggest controversial thing. And why is it controversial? I'm going to do a separate video. I'm going to upload it right after this, talking about this issue about why tariffs are controversial. But the big thing I want you to get right now, the tariffs are controversial. The North loves them, the South hates them. Because the big thing what it's going to do is it's going to protect the factories in the North, and it's going to raise the prices of everything the South has to import from over the ocean. So it's going to help the North, hurt the South. Federal funding of canals, railroads, and other infrastructure. As we've talked about earlier this week, most of the people using the canals, the railroads, and other infrastructure like steamboats are businessmen. The workaday farmer is not going to be using these. These are really going to be helped to promote industrialization, to create new cities, to create new cities in the Midwest as well, like Chicago and Cleveland, and get those up and running. Okay, so look out for our next video on the tariffs, but we're done for now.